You ever bought anything from the middle aisle?
Loads of stuff, yeah.
Like what?
Just stuff for the house.
Did you need it?
No. Do you know what? I was actually having this conversation the other day, and apparently it's all the things that are sold in the middle aisle are like deeply researched in psychology of supermarkets.
Right.
So that it's things you don't need, but you think you need, and you buy them. And then because they're on the middle aisle, you think they're an offer. There's so much psychology that goes into supermarkets.
Have you watched the Costco documentary on Netflix?
No.
Honestly, it's so good. Like most prices, items are at eye level, all that marketing stuff.
But you can go to Costco and buy like a trampoline and a giant box of biscuits.
Well, the thing about Costco
Don't go on the trampoline after the biscuit.
You might need to. This is Three Players and a Podcast. 3 players, 3 topics, and 1 podcast out the other end of it. Joining us on this week's show, Gabby... No, I'm not going to sing it again. Gabby George, who is very much the trampoline of Costco. You go in, you're met by her and think, I've got to take you home. Jen Beattie, who would be the toilet roll, necessary in every way.
Functional.
Thank you, functional.
Required.
What would you be, like the 95-inch TV? A light to have in your squad, but just a bit too expensive.
Because you put me diagonally and I'd fit on the TV.
I think even if we put you diagonally, you wouldn't be 95 inches, Izzy. Oh, poor Izzy Christiansen. Anyway, Izzy Christiansen, Jen Beattie and Gabby George here to talk all things strikers. We've got to the end, thank goodness. If you've listened to the past 2, you'll know that we gave you our best ever WSL defenders, which also includes a goalkeeper, our best ever midfielders, which also roughly included Izzy Christiansen. She got in on the act. And now we're going for strikers, which means we may potentially see Jen Beattie on the list for once. Up front.
Because she didn't make the defenders.
No, she didn't make the defenders.
But she's always necessary, so can we get her in somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. I told you. Very much
Is
like
there
the
a sub
Costco
list?
toilet roll.
Is there a sub list?
You're first on it.
Squad
First on
players.
the sub list. That will be the supplementary. We haven't started yet with you, Gabby George. Who would you go? Who's your strikers 5?
Gabby, I'm so sorry about her.
No worries.
That's what my mum says.
So yeah, I put Kelly Smith in strikers.
Kelly Smith. So those that haven't listened to the last podcast, Jen had Kelly Smith in her midfielders, but you've gone for striker. We'll get to the reasons why in a minute. So Smith.
Rachel Yankee.
Oh, nice. Her signature's worth a pretty penny. Rachel Yankee.
I've got Fran Kirby in there as well.
Oh.
Viv Meadham.
I'd personally put her in the midfield.
Yeah, I mean, I did, but it was overloaded, so we had to
Nice.
put her in somewhere. And Ellen White.
Ellen White.
Good 5. Smith, Yankee, Kirby, Miedemar and White. Jen of the Beattie.
Yankee. Sam Kerr.
Oh, yeah.
Miedema.
Yeah.
Julie Fleeting.
Nice.
Scotland.
Lauren Hemp.
Ooh.
Can we class her as a forward?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
a forward, like a winger as
Forward
well.
line, yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
You
And she
may.
plays a 9 as well.
As we've discovered in the very first podcast.
Youngest probably all time, by the way.
Yeah.
She's still so young, but
Retweet. But do you say retweet now or re-X or what do you say?
You say,
Quote
I was
tweet.
just a... Thank you, Gabby.
What did you say, Gabby?
relive.
Quote
Oh,
tweet.
yeah, quote tweet.
So you're quote tweeting her 5?
I'm quoting tweeting. Quoting. I'm quoting tweeting
Fleeting or
hemp.
The Hemp's in yours. Who else?
Ellen White.
White, yeah.
Miedemar.
Yeah.
Bethany Mead.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I was... Go on.
Samantha Kerr.
big Mead fan.
I'm a big Mead fan.
Nice.
Okay, so there's only one crossover. Having a flick through.
Really?
You all agreeing on Viv. Some of you gone for 2. Kerr's in twice. White's in twice. Hemp's in twice. Let's start with Gabby George. So Gabby, Miedemar we've agreed. Who would you make the call out of the other 4? You've went Smith, Yankee, Kirby and White that should be in that top 3.
We've got to have Kelly Smith because she has to be somewhere, and we've not got her in midfielders.
Yeah, to be fair, because I had her in midfield as well, and we clarified she wasn't a midfielder, I'm putting her in the forwards.
Oh.
So I don't know who. I'm not taking anyone out. Can I name 6 on this
No,
one and
go
agree with Gabs?
No.
Yeah, well, I didn't
can't.
add Sam Kerr in mind, so I'll add that as well. So
Yeah.
we'll go 6.
Nice. Top 6. There's so
All
many good
Fulham
forwards, to
club.
be fair.
I just have no idea how Kelly Smith's a forward. She's a midfielder.
Well, she played against me as a forward, so.
But how?
That's why, yeah.
But that was one game.
Yeah, but what a game. What happened?
But we didn't put her in midfield.
Did she score that game?
She set up the goal and it was in the FA Cup final, and I think I was 17 and she just pinned me in the box, but I'm not like a small girl, but I couldn't physically move, and she just set it on the edge of the box and they scored 2-0, game over.
Sounds like a good reason.
It sounds like good forward play, but I'm still not having this with these two, with Kelly Smith being a forward.
But if we've not got her in midfield, she's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah,
In
so
a
one of
free
the best
role.
players.
In a free role.
Okay, we'll just put her as like the top player.
The
To
all
take her out
time.
of all.
Yeah, to be fair, she would be the all-time.
Yeah, so
For
we'll
me.
do that then.
Yeah.
So we've just restructured the pod.
Well-
Are you okay with that, Carol?
Or
Well, no,
added-
it's
added a
fine because
dimension.
Gabby makes the rules up, as we discovered. When she's cheating,
Yeah.
she makes
Yeah,
the
she's
rules up.
cheating.
Smart, to be fair.
So-
I was reeled right in.
Smith is the all-time player.
Yeah.
That's fine. So she's still not in your top 3 when it comes to strikers. So I've crossed her off.
Yeah.
So Yankee, Kirby, or White, who do you think should be in that top 3?
That's a tough one. Like Ellen White is she like the record holder at the moment for goals scored?
Yeah.
So.
For England.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what about in the WSL? She's quite high.
Yeah.
For all goals
Where
scored.
is she in the WSL?
She's not
stuff.
Miedema.
I'm going to Google it to keep talking.
And Rachel Yankee, I feel like when I was coming through, she was the player that I used to watch a lot of because I used to think I was a little winger. So yeah, it's a tough one.
You've got Yankee in as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Again, I think from that era of football when it was all like the only game televised as a kid for me watching was the FA Cup final in May, and just watching Yanks beat every single fullback she ever came up against. She was just miles ahead of everyone. She has to be in like the all-time.
Yeah, I
and
feel
even
like
towards the end of her career, she was still doing it.
it's quite difficult because like I would have like Beth Mead and people in my team, but I'm always thinking like, because it's all time,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the past rather than the present more.
Yeah.
So like I said, like when Beth retires in however many years and we have this conversation, then I feel like I would put her in. But if I'm talking about like present, then I'd probably just go Rachel Yankee. I mean past.
2 great points. I was just Googling, I found some really interesting stuff. Most WSL appearances as a teenager, 54 May Letitia. Found that quite interesting. Anyway.
Is it relevant to the podcast?
Absolutely not. Sorry, we're on attackers. Sorry. So I'm going... So am I staking my claim?
No, Yankee. We're going for it at the moment. How do we feel about Rachel Yankee?
Yeah, I agree with what Gab said about, all time. I think I went with Hempo as current. And also what Hemp's achieved so far in her career and what she's 23 and what she can continue to do, I think will definitely, gets her into that list for me.
Great argument.
So Yankee's on the potential for us. You also went for Sam Kerr, both of you, and you were bringing up the rear on Sam Kerr as well. You thought potentially again.
Yeah, I think obviously what Sam's done in the last few years as a forward player and what she's won with Chelsea and got to Champions League finals and stuff like that. And I think she's done it on an international stage as well, which always helps. So yeah.
How tough is she to defend against?
So hard. You know, the biggest thing for me is like she can beat anyone at a header. Like I always think with like my height as well, like aerial presence was I was mainly quite dominant at it, but you're coming up someone a lot shorter than you that will beat you in a header. Even she did it at the weekend when we played Chelsea a couple of weeks ago. Amanda Ilstead, again, similar height to me, maybe taller, scored goals for fun with her head at the World Cup, scored against Chelsea again, but Sam did beat her on one of the headers, and I was just like, how has she done that? Like, she's just unbelievable in the air. She's definitely scored more goals. I mean, that's actually a wild statement. I don't know.
No,
But for her height, her like ability to get off the ground and beat anyone in the air is second to none in this league, I don't say. She scored some unbelievable headers from positions in the box.
I think that we were asking many moons ago about which stat you'd like to see. I'd like to see
Yeah, how many goals she scored with her
her
head.
height. So the
It's,
height to goal ratio.
It's her hang time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think having the ability to jump high is one thing, but having the ability to hang in the air is another. I think she's got that sort of innate athleticism, said that kind of right, to hang in the air and head the ball with power and pace while she's up in the air. Not many players can do that. Even in the men's game, there's not that many players that can do that. So yeah, like she's at the bottom of my 5 because what I would say with Sam Kerr and Chelsea is they've not won the Champions League yet. And I know that doesn't necessarily get you into our list of all-time 3, but I think that's the big one with Chelsea.
Do you think because of that she shouldn't be in our list?
No, I think that's a little bit harsh. I think
that is just what you just said.
It is, but I'm just sparking debate that I think that's, perhaps with Chelsea and Sam Kerr. How long has Sam Kerr been in the league? 4 years? Yeah, I think that she's close, but if she'd have won the Champions League with Chelsea, I'd be like, yeah, she's in. But she's hanging on the edge for me.
So who makes it above Sam Kerr for you?
I think Beth Mead.
Or Miedema,
Sunderland?
No? Miedema.
I think Miedema's in because you've all got her.
So who have we
I
got
know
so
what I'm
far?
saying makes no sense.
You've got it makes no
I'm
sense.
fully aware of
You've
that.
got half of Rachel Yankee, Miedema, and potentially Kerr at the moment.
Oh, geez, where are we going with this one? Ellen White?
Yeah.
You're just throwing names out here again who haven't won the Champions League, which you just said was
Yeah,
your
I
reason
know. I
for
just
Sam
think
Kerr.
this. I don't know with Sam. Like she's brilliant. I just think like she's on my list of 5, but I just think if we're talking about 3, talking about vintage WSL and what they've done in the league. Ellen White's done it for longer, but then that doesn't support my argument with Lauren Hemp. So I'm just chatting absolute waffle.
She's definitely done it the longest, Ellen, obviously, of course. But the amount of times Sam Kerr has got Chelsea out of tricky situations and come up in huge moments. Like, I watched countless games last season where it'd be quite close towards the end and she'd pop up with a goal. Like, she's done unbelievably well with scoring goals in crucial moments for Chelsea.
Yeah, and I feel like even though she hasn't won the Champions League, I think she's won a lot at Chelsea.
Even for Australia, like I remember watching them play against England last April, I want to say, leading up to the World Cup.
Yeah.
They beat England 2-0, but Sam was at the like England dominated the game, but if you give Sam moments, she created and scored for 2-0 to beat England. And I'm like, Australia didn't have much of the ball, didn't necessarily play the best football, but if you give her moments in a game and that, I think she can show up in any team, whoever she's playing for.
I'm going Kerr and Miedema are in. So now you've got to decide on your third. So the options in there: Lauren Hemp, White, Kirby, we haven't even spoken about, and Fleeting as well. Why Kirby for you, Gabs?
I just put her down in forwards because I had a lot of midfielders, but I think, like we said earlier, Fran is a top player and she had a good connection with Kerr, and she's just got the ability to create things out of nothing, which I think is also important in a top player. And like I said, Chelsea have won a lot over the recent years and she's been at the forefront of that.
I think we should, right, so for me, Julie Fleeting's the best finisher ever.
Yeah, I've not watched much of
Like
Julie
for
Fleeting.
Scotland, the goals to ratio is similar to what we're saying about Miedema, like more goals than caps, which for Scotland is insane. Like, so if we're talking goal finisher, it'd be Fleets, but like, shall we? Who's a more all rounder, which I think is probably Fran, can finish unbelievably well, dynamic, struggling to get the ball off her, keeps the ball so close to her, technical ability, darting runs, speed, prowess, everything, strong on the ball. She's maybe got more of everything.
There's just so many forwards because it's like 9s, wingers, like 10s sometimes. It depends on what formation you're playing, but 10s are sometimes higher than they are deeper. So like there's arguments for Meadow, Hemp.
Who's the toughest to play against?
Out of who? Kirby, Mead, Hemp.
White as well.
White. Ooh.
Fleeting. Anyone you want?
Lauren Hemp and Ellen White for me are horrible to play against. I mean, I would never mark directly either of those players, but just being, on the pitch with their threat on the opposition is horrible.
Why?
Ellen's just like a force in the box. Like she's like Ellen was never the player like who like technically you're talking like elite or but she created that kind of hunger in her game, and like in the box, like she's one of the best there was inside the box. She'd put her head on anything, like she'd throw her head at anything in the box. And she worked on her game and she refined it. Hempo, I honestly just think she is like world class as a player, and like exciting to see where she can go. Fran, I think you're spot on. Like it's just whether you class her as a forward, but I know why. I don't know. This is tough.
All time. So it's WSL players of all time.
If you're asking me, I think Ellen White, all time. But that's, yeah.
All-time forward. Well, we're still saying Kelly is like a midfielder.
Yeah.
But if
Well,
she's a
she's the
forward,
all-time player.
She's the all-time player.
player.
great
He's out
point,
of the
guys.
argument now.
We got that out early.
I think Miedema then.
He's already in there now.
Yeah.
All-time. What
In the top
are
three.
we talking about, everyone?
I don't know. Top three all-time players in the WSL. You've got Miedema in.
Yeah, forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just whether White goes in there as well. With Kerr.
I'm going to go for Julie Fleeting.
Not
Gabs has got the deciding vote here.
So who's out of Ellen White and Julie Fleeting? See, that's a tough one because I've not seen much of Julie Fleeting.
Totally different players as well, to be fair. Like completely different
yeah.
players.
Don't be swayed by her.
No, I'm not
Don't look in her eyes.
Much of her, so I couldn't comment.
You've
So I
got.
would have to go with Ellen
I wonder
White.
what the listeners are tthinking.
They're thinking.
Maybe
Can
the
they get to
listeners
the
Can
end
they
of
get
it?
to a
Decide.
decision?
Yeah.
No, this is tough. This is tough.
I think we should go with a wide forward because we've got two forwards. We have Viv, we have Sam,
So like Hempo. Or
or Yanks, or me.
then I'm going Yanks.
She's not here. She should be here to be
She
part of
should
this
be.
conversation. Would you be
Don't
putting
say that because
yourself forward?
Gabs has come in and done a fantastic
to be
job.
part of this conversation.
Yeah, to add to.
Yeah, thank you. As a supplement, she'd be the large bottle of sweets you find on the last aisle at Costco. So Yankees going in, Kerr's in, and Miedema
Nice.
is in.
I think when
We
we
got
do
there.
this in a few more years, I think it'll be completely
If we're
different.
doing this in a
reckon?
few years,
Yeah.
right? In the defender section, Alex Greenwood sits there.
Right.
Leah Williamson
William.
sits there.
Yeah.
Hempo sits there.
Mm.
There might be an argument for Chloe Kelly sitting
Yeah.
there.
Mido as well.
Beth Mead. Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but on the strength of these last three podcasts, we won't be doing this in a few years. That is our complete team. Bardsley, Bronze and Bright, your defenders. Little G, Walsh, your midfielders. Miedema, Kerr and Yankee up front. And Kelly Smith, your all-time WSL player. Anyone want any other argument for an all-time WSL player?
Nah.
No.
Izzy does.
Kim Little.
Really?
What? She's brilliant.
No, I'm just instead
Yeah.
of Smith.
Maybe in a few years.
Come back to us in a few years. I hope everyone stays with us till then.
That really, I mean, the inflection on that was not that I've got anything against Kim Little.
No, I know.
Thank you for that. That is 3 players and a podcast. Use the hashtag 3PP. I'm off to fill my trolley with a TV, toilet roll, and a trampoline. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.